Hey, I'm Jon Thelen. Today on Fish Ed, we're gonna go chase some midsummer crappies, and it looks like we got a little bit of time before some storms hit here, but I think we can get them. They're pretty well scattered out on some spots that are pretty predictable, and this is the kind of thing that you can go do on a lot of different lakes throughout these summer months. Stay right where you're at. Fish Ed's coming up. There he goes. That's a great way to start right there. That feels like exactly what we're after. We're crappie fishing today. Well, yeah, look at that. What a great way to start. Look at that fish right there. Man, that is just an awesome fish. I'm gonna spot lock the boat right here. Look at that. That's what we're after today. It's midsummer. You know, some people even call this the dog days of summer, but here's what's really cool about this time of the year. Fish like that one right here, they're pretty unpressured. I mean, you look around, there's a boat over here and there's a boat over there, but that's it. I mean, we've got this area all to ourselves, and these fish right here, crappies like that one, they're just stacked up, and this is the time of the year that you can go do it without having to fight those springtime crowds. And here's the other thing. Fish like this one right now are eating like crazy because all they're thinking about is it's warm water, it's time to bulk up, it's time to get bigger, stronger before they head into those fall and winter months. What a great fish to start our day right there. Got a feeling we're gonna get a few of those today. There he is. Oh, shoot. That one got off. You know what? Every now and then that's just gonna happen. You know, that's one of the things that comes with crappie fishing is they got pretty soft lips, and you know, on that one right there, I might have just had them in the wrong spot. But you know what? This gives me a great chance to show you exactly what I'm using because, man, it's a simple setup. This is a Thel crappie cork. It's printed right on the side with how much weight it's gonna hold up. It says it's gonna hold up a 16th ounce. But here's what's really cool about this cork. This is balsa. I can see everything that happens because balsa just shows me a better reaction than any plastic or foam could. All said and done, I know exactly what's going on down there. I know if a fish is nibbling at it. I know if he's pulling at it. I know if he bites it because it might tip up this way or it might go down really, really easy and the fish doesn't feel it. The other thing that's really cool about this is it's a slip float or it's a fixed float. This crappie cork, you could use it as a spring float. So let's say I was fishing 3 feet or less. What I might do is just use it as a fixed float, use that spring, clip it on the line and cast it. But today I'm set about 8 feet down, so I'm using it as a slip float and I'm also able to jig through it. And that makes it really, really great for a spot like this. And then down here, this jig has probably caught more crappies and more bluegills than anything else ever made. This is the Little Nipper. It's from Lindy. It's a great jig. It's just got some hair and feathers on it. And all I'm doing is nose hooking that minnow and dropping it out there and then just working along. And I'll tell you what, it's pretty much automatic today with a setup like this. There he goes. Look at that. You want to talk automatic? Let me tell you what's really cool about what we're doing here. What makes this so automatic is these crappies are all sitting in a very predictable spot. These fish right now are all sitting right on top of small mid-lake humps. I mean, we're a little ways off of shore, you know, not a long ways, but we're a little ways off of shore. These fish aren't tight up on shore right now. They've actually moved out a little bit deeper. Boy, did we hook that guy good. Crappies like that, I mean, that's just a solid 11-inch fish. They're out here because the food's out here. The minnows have all moved out here. And what I'm looking for then is these small mid-lake humps that are just off of shore. Now, I'm not talking the ones way out in the middle. A lot of times those are owned by the walleyes or the bigger game fish. But the crappies can take spots like this right here. I mean, this rock pile we're on right here, this is just 8 feet. There's 4 or 5 of these around me right now. And I've just picked one. And I've just come up here and started looking around. Now, the first thing I did this morning is I came up and I did some driving because I want to see some marks on the screen. And I did. I saw fish just kind of stacked up on the edge. And what that tells me is that when they feed, they're going to move up on top. And that's what these fish have done. There's fish all over this thing. And I'm just moving around the top of this rock pile, just dropping that float over the top of them when I see them. And it's just pretty automatic. I mean, this fast, we've got 2 of them in the live well. I've missed a couple. It's just a really, really neat deal to fish these fish at this time of the year because their locations are fairly predictable. Let's get right back in the water. One of the things you'll notice that I do a lot is not only am I moving this float around, the other thing I'm doing is these crappies, they're out here eating. I mean, they're on the move. So what I'm doing is, even though I'm fishing a float, you'll notice that a lot of times I'm jigging. And all I'm doing there, ooh, there's one right there. He bit it when I lifted it up. I was just jigging it. But what I'll do is I'll actually just jig it right through that slip float, because what it'll do is trigger a fish like that one right there when he sees that jigging action going on, and he'll come up and smack it. Ooh, that's a good fish right there. He broke that jig off, but fortunately, he broke it off in the boat so I can get it tied back on. But that'll make a huge, huge difference a lot of times, especially if the fishing slows down a little bit on you. Just go ahead and jig, even though you're fishing a bobber. Jig right through that bobber, because a slip float, that line's gonna slide right through it every time you jig, and all you're doing is triggering fish. It's just like jigging for walleyes or jigging without a bobber, but here's what the bobber allows me to do. Get out away from the boat a little bit. I'm still vertical, but then when I pop it, slide that line through a little bit, it jigs it up and down a little bit, and a lot of times, that's all that fish needed. He might have been sitting right here looking at it. And as soon as I lifted it up, all of a sudden I could feel him. There's a little bit of weight, and I was able to just set the hook. So there's a couple different ways you can fish these fish, but all said and done, you can do it both ways, jigging and slip float fishing at the same time by doing it the way we're doing it today and just jigging through that float. That was really neat right there, because I gotta tell you, I saw a whole bunch of fish, but my transducer's back here on the back of the boat and my bobber was up here. So all I did is I pulled my whole setup back toward the back of the boat. Look at that, that might be the biggest one we got all day. Holy smokes, I'll tell you, what a great day of midsummer crappie fishing. And this is one of the most overlooked things that there is in fishing. You know, so often we're busy chasing walleyes, we're busy chasing other species, but these crappies, they are something else. And this is the time of the year that you can get out and do this. And you know, there's been a few boats come and go throughout the morning here, but let me tell you, the fishing has been fast and furious, and a lot of times on a lot of lakes you can have this all to yourself because everybody's thinking you got to be up in those weeds. You know what's up there? Usually your smaller bluegills, your smaller crappies. Out here on this first sets of structure, that's where you're going to find crappies like this one. Get out and enjoy some of this, because I'll tell you what, this is just a ball.